What's up, guys? How are y'all doing? Welcome to Let's Talk MetaZoo. Ironically enough, Dean and I were planning on today actually being the January monthly recap that we had been doing. And then we actually kind of decided, you know what? We're not going to do it. There isn't much really to report. And then we got the letter.
And then there became everything to report.
Yeah. So, like I said, my name is Turmentic. This is the amazing and the wonderful Dean, aka Dean Streams from MetaZoo Nation, Australia. I had to play the intro. I almost didn't want to play the intro, but I had to play that intro again just because, like, shout out to Mothhawk. Amazing. It's so banging. And again, CNO at TCG Island, he's the one to put all the images and everything together as well, too. Still one of the best intros, in my opinion, on YouTube. But yeah, so... I don't even know where to start. I will actually preface this with saying this right here. If you're expecting a bunch of nonstop hate and anger and everything like that, we're not going to do that. Sadness is the big word that keeps coming to mind. We wanted to, I've been kind of hesitating to not really address a lot of the rumors and the stuff that have been going on the last month, because no one really knew what was going on with any of it. There was so much speculation. And now that we actually have the letter from Mike, we have to kind of address it. We have to talk about it, because MetaZoo, as we know it, is no longer. That's not saying something in the future can't happen.
Well, I think that's probably the thing.
Yeah.
That's what, I don't know. At first I was kind of, I wouldn't say shocked, because that's not necessarily true. I think the way that everything shut down and the letter just dropped so quickly was not sort of what I was expecting or how I anticipated things to go when this day finally came.
I was taken aback,
which is today. But I think it leaves an opportunity for the right people to sort of come in and really shake it up and keep it going. I mean, it's one of those things in business, from the business side of it anyway. There's obviously a lot of outstanding liabilities to MetaZoo Games LLC as a business. Mm-hmm. So if you're on the other side looking to purchase an IP or in a company like that, you're probably not going to buy it with all that liability. You don't want to inherit somebody else's problems. So it kind of makes sense from a business aspect for them to shut up shop, and then down the road, whether that be weeks, months, who knows, for somebody else to be able to step in and actually pick up the IP and do it the way that they plan on doing it, the way that I guess probably a lot of people hope it would be done.
Nick actually brought up a good point too. I do want to address that. There is a lot of people justified to be angry, though. Yes, there is a lot of anger. I'll be honest with you. I'm angry at some things as well too. The way things actually folded out, the way they've actually unfolded. I am actually part of those 32 people too from Dark Tower that is still owed money as well too. Along with the voucher that we should have gotten to use for the marketplace. But getting mad and screaming and stuff, like, it's not going to do anything. It might make
it's valid. It's a valid feeling though, right? I probably run the biggest MetaZoo store down here or outside of the US. So I've spent the morning on the phone to Shopify and my bank requesting, information around chargebacks. How can I sort of rectify this? In the meantime, reaching out to everybody that has legacy pre-orders with me, letting them know in 100% confidence over the next, 48 to 72 hours from my own money, I will be refunding their pre-orders, so they have nothing to worry about, and I'll inherit, whatever comes of that. Of course, I'm pissed. That's a lot of money, right? I'm angry as well, but kicking down the door, screaming and shouting isn't going to get me my money back.
I probably got a solid. I mean, I know you probably have more, but I probably have a solid like $800, $700 worth of pre-orders that are tied up between like the streamer kit and like NFT pack and like things like that. And like, honestly, we could get mad at it, but at the end of the day, the only thing we can really honestly do is just charge it back now. Like, I would much rather focus on all of the people that I have met in this community.
Oh man, how good's that been?
Because
that's
like
the highlight, eh?
There's so many people because of how obsessed I am with the story. There's so many people that actually, when the news dropped, reached out to me and asked like, "How are you okay?" Or basically just because, like, I mean, it's no lie. I've embraced the story. The entire channel is all about the lore and the story of MetaZoo specifically, just because of how much faith I actually had in it. I still love the story. I wish we would have gotten the book, even if the TCG, nothing ever happens with the TCG again. Release the book. Like the story and other stuff. Like, I've actually even been tempted. I was joking around with some people the other day. I was like, if the story actually never finishes, I actually might try to write my own like little version of it, or so, at least to end the Cryptid Nation block. But yeah, that's what made me fall in love with it, was the combination of the actual real lore, the way it combined into the story, and the actual characters themselves.
You know what? I saw it on Instagram as well, and it's probably not a bad idea. Like crowdfunding, crowdfunding together as a community, right, to buy it back. So I don't know if anybody's watched it. You probably have. There's a series called Welcome to Wrexham, which Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds bought this old football club, one of the oldest football clubs in the world. But for decades before that, supporters crowdfunded it, and they all owned it and kept it alive until somebody could step in and take over and actually run it. And I just saw that on Instagram this morning, and I was like, that's actually, it's nice to see that there's some sort of, we a lot of fans, right? We don't want it to go away. There's a lot of shit that's gone wrong, and we're upset about a lot of things. But it's built such a great community. We've all met some really, really good people and have great friendships. And I don't want to see it just disappear. I don't personally think it'll disappear, but I mean, who knows? That's not really for me to speculate on or not, because I'm not buying MetaZoo. I don't have
the cash, yeah, right?
I don't have the time to put into it. I don't know what it's worth. So I don't know how much cash it might take, but
I would imagine that, honestly, right now with them ceasing operations, it as itself, there is no more going forward with that. I completely see somebody being able to actually buy out the existing IP though, and keeping the same general idea of what it was. But even if somebody does buy MetaZoo, it won't. I feel like it's like we're at a fundamental change. Like, that's why I named this the end of MetaZoo, and I'm not trying to say like MetaZoo's gone, it's completely disappearing, no one's ever going to do anything. Like, for example, somebody sent me screenshots earlier today that the Collector app actually, if you're not familiar with it, the Collector app is an app you can download. It actually shows you like all the collections that you have and cards, everything like that. They actually released a statement saying that they were going to still support MetaZoo on their app, even though the company went under, just because of the what did they say? It was like the exact phrase they used, I think, was something like the robust marketplace for the cards or something like that. But anyway, they're going to keep support for it. So like MetaZoo itself isn't going to go any like away completely. There's still going to be people that actually are going to be trying to pick up stuff, things like that. But the IP, I can see the IP. I can see a soft rebrand potentially sometime in the future if somebody wants to buy it. I mean, a lot of the legwork was already set because of what MetaZoo Games did, to where if somebody came in and bought it, they would be super prime and right for, they would have a step up, I feel, in the TCG market moving forward.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. It's an interesting one. There's so many legends in the comments too. It's just so.
Yeah, I was trying to keep up. I know a couple people keep asking about Cryptid Clash. Bats, I'll just say that right now, Bats has actually made a statement in the Discord for Cryptid Clash that they don't have any info. They have no idea exactly what the process moving forward is. They're going to keep the servers on those so people can still play. But he said as soon as they get more information, they'll let us know as well too. I know that some places are still actually going to be holding tournaments and such like that. Like, I talked to Josh Heiss over at IHC, the Loveland Lads. They're still going to be actually holding stuff like that as well too. So I mean, support for the game is gone. But I mean, Yeah, it's just so
I mean,
sad.
I don't know. I'm just trying to keep up with the comments as well. I mean, the IP is an interesting one, right? Because the cryptids, the IP is probably only really realistically a few characters, like your Sam Sinclairs and M and things like that. And
well, it has a lot more than you would think, honestly.
yeah, but I mean, you know, like a lot of its success is attributed to one, I guess, probably the way the product looked, but two, the nostalgia factor for a lot of people in North America based around cryptids that they grew up with and knew and things like that. So, you know, it's not. Yeah, it shouldn't be. You wouldn't think it should be because we never got the book right. We got the comics. We never got anything further, even with the manga. We never got anything further than what we'd originally had.
We never got past them leaving Loveland Castle, actually, yeah.
The IP, in reality, is a couple of characters in the brand name and probably the way it looks. That's about it. It's not much bigger than that because, you know, while Mike's intention was to, you know, push and grow that IP, he never got the chance. So I really don't think it's too hard or too far away for somebody to be able to pick that up or, you know, create a spin-off of MetaZoo that's not called MetaZoo, but basically runs down the same route. I mean, yeah, it's what are we like? What time did we see that? Like 4 or 5 hours ago. There is so much more information that we don't have. There's everything's so up in the air. This is nothing but speculation. That's all it's all it's going to be until we know. Like, but yeah, it's a sad way that it's come to a head under the original MetaZoo Games LLC and you know the owners of that and the people that run that company. It's a bummer the way that it's sort of gone down today, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what sort of transpires over the next 48 to 72 hours. Anyway, I don't think.
I'm actually interested to see because even I don't want to say dead TCGs, but even TCGs that are no longer supported, like older TCGs, some of them actually still retain some value. I don't think we're going to keep any sort of like value like where we've been, but I am interested really to see when the market settles in about a month or so where prices actually fall, because there are pieces that I mean I don't care, honestly. I mean, yeah, I care, but like MetaZoo isn't here. There's still pieces that I actually still want. Like I still want a sample frog. I would still love to get a sample Sam. And so I'm interested to see, especially if the IP is picked up later on, like what, like I don't know. And I've never really talked market before. Like I don't know anything when it comes to market talk. Don't listen to me when it comes to market stuff. But I'm interested in see the numbers actually once things actually settle down. The IP is interesting though, to go back to talk about that real quick. Not that I don't ever talk about it here on this channel. But something that a lot of people don't really know, and I guess I can say it now because there's no longer a MetaZoo Games. Everybody knows that I was actually like working on the map with Mike. Because of that, working with that and helping him, I've seen most of the travel lines for Cryptid Nation. That's one of the reasons why I never came out with the timeline vid that I kept talking about. Oh, the Cryptid Nation timeline vid. I just abruptly stopped talking about it. Was because I saw pretty much what the travel lines, what the travel points were across Cryptid Nation. That's what is so saddening to me, is that I saw how this story literally could it was completely unique. It was the way that he was tying things together again with the small little tiny things, and there was a legit story, and that's what's so upsetting. Like, because now we'll never actually, well, again, I might try to come up with something myself, but we'll never actually know what that thought process was, what that story was. And kind of like you were talking about, we got the graphic novels ish, I guess, light novels kind of, and then we got 5 chapters of the manga, but we never got past that point of them actually really leaving Loveland
because
Castle.
they couldn't because of the business decisions that were made. And this is it's one of those things now, like you can sort of sit back in hindsight and look at it. Like there's been instances where there's writing on the wall, but you hope, they'll pull through, or something's going to pull through, or this will happen, or that'll happen. And I think even with the letter and the roadmap.
Brandon, I completely disagree with you. I understand that what you read might not have been that great, but the overall arching connections between King Arthur and Solomon's Ring and everything else that I've been putting together on this channel for the last 2 years really saw the potential of what the story was going to turn into. So that's, I completely would have to disagree with your comment about the story being trash. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, I don't know where I was.
Sorry, I just thought I was like, I gotta defend the story. I'm sorry, I have to defend the story.
Yeah, no, I think I was just talking about. I was just talking about. Look, and it is what it is. But like, the game, the events, the community, the artists, the artwork, the cards, the product, the people, everything about MetaZoo in that aspect has been absolutely brilliant. It's what everybody loves, right? It's been, it's been flawless. It was always from day dot something internally. Always looking for somebody to blame, always passing the blame around internally. That was the fault. That was the fault that they couldn't shake loose and didn't correct. And that's how we've ended up here. And based on that, if you look back at it, then the way that the business has sort of come out and just ceased all operation today, that makes sense. They've just gone, well, fuck it. We can't save it. There's nothing we can do. This is all we've got to do. We've got to shut it down. And then Mike stated in that letter, he hopes that, the IP is picked up at some point and continues on as a lot of us do. Cause it's great fun. It's a good business idea, a failed business venture. That's what it is.
I had a really great thought and I got caught up listening to you and I forgot what I was going to say.
Don't listen to me. I never listen to you. I just wait to speak.
Oh God, yeah. I don't know. It's just I've tried to take the last couple hours to just kind of get my thoughts together, and I'm still just kind of like, I honestly thought with everything that was going on, I guess this would be speculation time. With everything that was going on, I honestly thought it was going to be one of three things. It was going to be somebody bought the company outright. Somebody bought the company but kept Mike on as creative, or MetaZoo just folded. And I honestly thought that the third choice was the weakest of the three.
Yeah, but what you got to look at then is the onus is on the buyer and not them selling it. Because if I was coming in and I was going to buy it, I wouldn't want the liability of the outstanding orders. I wouldn't want all the money, the liability of all the money that's owed to whoever it's owed to. I would just want to grab the brand, the IP, information of, who they dealt with in terms of printing, things like that. Obviously, a couple of the employees on the creative side, the R&D side, and obviously the artist side, and then put some people in there to actually run that business and keep it going, probably from legacy, but it would be completely different. It wouldn't be exactly, it wouldn't be what the previous business heads, I guess, had sort of created. Especially when it comes to legacy, right? That was the one thing that irked me from the start, is you can't release legacy before you release war. This always pissed me off. I was like, why would you do that? You can't do that. If legacy is around out of a block, it's got to be after the final set. So that'd be the first thing I'd do anyway. Is I'd take legacy, I'd print war first, and then put legacy in its place.
I do want to actually address this. Tuffy's asking if any of the charities actually did get money. Somebody actually in one of the Oasis threads last week, I think it was, actually showed that they had been actually giving out the money for like the Hopi Educational Foundation and stuff like that. So I do believe 100% that the charities actually that they were raising money for were paid. You also think of Gary King Pokemon. They did more fundraisers and stuff like that for Autism Instruct. The Tahoe Tessie, I believe, was for Autism Instruct. So I mean, yes, I wanted to spell that right here. Like they were actually paying the charities their money. Like that's because that's the other thing too, and that's one of the reasons I've been hesitant to actually really kind of talk about a lot of this stuff is that there is no real. There's so many different rumors that were flying around. There was so much misinformation that was flying around. There were so many assumptions and even though some of what people were assuming it came to be correct with them actually folding, I doubt honestly we'll ever get a true story of exactly what happened, because everything is they're a private company. So they don't really have, like, there's no way, I don't think anybody can really see exactly what took place to lead to this in essence. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how any of that stuff actually works. Again, that's just, I'm going off into the theory stuff again, which I was trying to say.
That's all that can be done anyway, is speculate. I mean, people can sit there and think they have facts, but until you actually do have written facts and not speculation, like, we don't know.
Well, somebody was actually talking about a documentary, and I've actually been toying around with the idea of doing a deep dive from Kickstarter days all the way up till now, because I wasn't around really, though, during the Kickstarter phase. I didn't really jump in until August of 21, right when CN1 really dropped. But I've been really, really toying around with the idea of trying to do like a super big deep dive. Everybody keeps seeing CoffeeZilla. Like, CoffeeZilla stuff is insane. And I know that's actually, people have been saying that for a couple of weeks now, that CoffeeZilla should actually do a deep dive. Just because
what's a CoffeeZilla? I don't even know what that
is a YouTuber that goes into like failed businesses, and sometimes they're scams, and sometimes like he basically pulls all the information out. Somehow he can find that.
Yeah.
He can find the information.
Yeah. All right. Well, get him onto it.
But my thing is, though, is that I would want to try to, in essence, because with most of my videos, I've always tried to encompass the community aspect. I would want to actually figure out exactly, yes, what led to the company failing, but at the same time, I would really want to actually highlight the family aspect. Really, to say that bluntly. I mean, there are more people that I've met because of doing this that I talk to on a regular basis than people that live on the island that I live on. And it's that, honestly, I think that's probably why I'm the most sad, is I honestly love this community. I don't know. It's just, it's hard to actually say. It's hard to put into words.
Yeah, when you think of it purely from a community-based aspect, of course, it is. It is sad, man. Even us in Australia, like our community is like 1,400 members that we built out of nowhere off the back of Nightfall being 4 months late. You know what I mean? Like, and that grew, and we raised over, I think, $11,000 total for charities, which was awesome. All paid to charities. Clearly, we received videos back from the charities, certificates from the charities, just for any of those haters that are popping in and out of the comments that I see. We paid our charities. But we were able to achieve a lot, and it was great. I've got friends literally all over the world, like now, particularly North America and one in Dubai. But
yeah, I like that. I actually really liked that comment, Brandon. That was nice. It was nice to have MetaZoo around, but at the same time too, though, like, you can still have a community without that. I just, like, I don't know, like, this whole idea, like, and like at the same time though too, now I don't even know. I don't know. I don't even know what to do with the channel anymore, to be honest with you.
It's too soon to say, bro. Take a breath.
I know.
We got this news like 5 hours ago. I mean, the good thing about this live stream.
I know.
The thing about this live stream is
it's just one of those where, like, even think of it like this, even the cryptid based lore, that stuff that I was doing, I was still centered around like Sam's cryptid collection. Yeah. Things of like that nature. So, I mean, it was still very MetaZoo focused. And I'll be honest, I don't know what to actually do moving forward with keep the cryptid content, keep doing this. Like I said, I kind of really want to look at potential, maybe the documentary. I think it would be kind of very nice to maybe it take me a while to actually make it, probably. But if
I agree with that,
settles,
Sino.
if everything settles and nothing actually moves forward with the IP, maybe actually post that as the last video for the channel. Maybe. What did Sino say about this? Yeah, that's the other, and that's one of the reasons I was trying to keep this from getting super like people ranting and raving and angry. And I don't want it a "I told you so" mentality. Like that does not help at this point right now. No, and I understand there are people who are owed apologies. I will say that like there are definitely people who should be told like you were right. But pointing fingers saying I knew this was going to happen a year ago or I knew this was going to happen 6 months ago does not make this any less sad.
Yeah,
like it doesn't. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I it's just sad. It's like I said, it's the only word I can actually I keep going to.
Yeah, I don't really know where it goes from here, eh? We just gotta wait and see. But I like the idea that at least with this live stream and I guess a couple of others that'll be, throughout the night, it just gives people a platform to sort of go and say whatever they feel like they need to say, because everybody's entitled to an opinion and an outlet, whether we agree with it or not. But yeah, I think circling back to the community of people that the game created is better, or I wouldn't say better because I don't want to compare, but it's unlike anything else I've ever been a part of in terms of other communities.
Yes,
in a positive way. In a positive way from the community aspect, making that very clear.
Like I hadn't gotten any of that. Like before MetaZoo, I ran the YouTube channel and I covered what was it? Minecraft Earth, Pokemon Go, and Harry Potter Wizards Unite when that was actually a thing still. And the channel actually, I mean, I didn't actually get the channel monetized until what was it, like April of last year, I think, or so. I worked like the first full year of trying to actually just get the 1,000 or so. But the entire 2 years that I was doing all of the stuff for the mobile games, not once did I feel anything remotely close to the community aspect that MetaZoo gave me. Like not anywhere close can I quantify the amount of people that I have met that I literally consider family now. That never happened when I was doing other stuff like that. Like that's what makes this experience so unique. That's what makes this so big, I guess, in my eyes. And it's one of the reasons why it makes it so sad. And I'm just kind of like at a loss of words. I know I've said this, but I'm really hoping that somebody actually can pick up the IP or the IP continue somehow. Just because again, this story, this story. I don't know. I'm gonna take a sip of coffee. You talk.
I mean, yeah, it's I don't know. People have asked me all morning. Well, what is it? Night over there, morning over here. About what I think and speculation, and I kind of just refuse to at the moment because the information is so limited. I just offered advice, said I'll be refunding this if you bought this through this platform. I'd go and try and claim that because obviously, it's the first thing a lot of people are worried about is money, and that's fair. That's fair. So I've sort of been just managing that in terms of what I think will happen. I have my own opinion, which I'll keep to myself because this is all speculation and I'm not going to be the guy that says something and when it doesn't happen, everybody comes after me. Not interested in that. But yeah, it's been a hell of a ride. If it is over, I mean, well, this portion of MetaZoo Games is over. This is done. It's over. It's over. MetaZoo, as created and founded by Mike Waddell, is done. There's no if, buts, or maybes about that. So it's just interesting. It'll be an interesting couple of weeks to sort of see what happens or where that goes.
Well, I'm kind of interested too because the Hello Kitty blisters or whatnot were they literally just went on sale on Box Lunch and what is it? Hot Topic.
Yeah.
Like they literally just like so. I don't know. I don't. It was just very quick. The announcement
That's
was
what I
just
mean.
very
That's why
very quick.
I have an opinion as to why I think that happened, but that involves something else coming to fruition. And until it does, I'm not saying a thing
No, that's
because
fair.
I don't want to speculate that and it not happen.
Yeah.
Anybody
Yeah.
else, feel free to be my guest. But yeah.
The Hot Topic thing might have been a pre-order thing. Yeah, it might have been one of those where they ordered them a couple months ago and they just got them in for right now. But I'm not entirely sure. I just thought it was kind of interesting. And
yeah,
I know everybody keeps saying they got paid out. We don't know, honestly. Like nobody, and that's
what who got paid
people
out?
in comments that keep talking about Mike and Andy getting payouts and leaving. And to be completely honest, unless somebody looks at the books for MetaZoo, we have no idea, honestly, how much money they had.
I mean, if you
we don't know if they actually if they took anything from the company or anything like that.
Well, we know a G-Wagon and a Lambo, right? Because that was on Instagram.
Yes, but you also have to know though that Mike and Andy both actually have money outside of MetaZoo. That was the one that honestly that is one thing I always laughed at is when people always would say stuff about Andy and his Lambo. And I'm like, do you understand? Like the man and his family, they have money, like outside of MetaZoo. So I don't, and I'm not trying to defend Mike and Andy either, but I'm just saying, like again, that's part of speculation. We don't know if they actually got any money from MetaZoo from all of this happening.
No, which are things that you would hope over the course of the next few days to weeks that actually comes out and people can get a better understanding or just a clear understanding of what it is. Not about who's right or wrong, just about facts.
I hope that over the next couple weeks too, we actually do get some more information on exactly what happened. Because again, the one it was just super quick. Like it was super quick. Like the announcement, that was it. And like now, even if you go to, I'm pretty sure
I was made aware that the socials was shutting down before the actual announcement was posted.
Really?
Within a window of about 5 minutes, in one of the group chats I'm in, it was like, oh, the MetaZoo Instagram is gone. And then I started looking at stuff and I'm like, oh, crap, that is gone. And then bang, the announcement popped up. And now the announcement's gone.
Yeah, they got rid of the announcement channel on the Discord too. So like you can't even
they got rid of all of them. I don't think there's any left.
There was one. You can still see some of them. If you're on the MetaZoo Discord, you can still see a few, but there is no announcement channel anymore.
Yeah, there's no there was MetaZoologists, like there was a chat there was people in, like MZOs and stuff, and yeah, it's all kind of just shut down to a communicationless black hole.
Well, all of their socials are still up. And that's the one thing that actually makes me be like, well, maybe they're still trying to sell the company, or maybe they have somebody who might be interested or something, is because they didn't nuke the actual handles. They kept their Instagram handle, they kept their Twitter handle, they deleted everything, or they made them private or hidden or something. Yeah. But they didn't delete them completely. And honestly, if the company was being liquidated, I don't know why they wouldn't have actually just shut those down completely.
Yeah,
is the Reddit thread completely gone? Somebody's actually saying the Reddit thread was gone 5 minutes after.
Spec. Is all we can do right now because we don't know.
Yeah, I know that you can't redeem the skateboards anymore. I saw that somebody actually tried to do that and it gave them an error. Oh, the Reddit was.
It's one of those things. It's one of those things where it's a sad day. But that said, there's been so much negativity and speculation about this day coming that a lot of people can't sit back and say they're surprised. That's BS. If they're like, because it's been, especially, the negative commentators, I would say, can't say that they're surprised because, you've been reporting on it for the last month and it's been insightful.
You can't redeem points on the MPN or anymore either. Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody was also bringing up Gary King Pokemon. Gary is just as shocked as everybody else. I don't believe Gary had any sort of knowledge that this was happening. I don't honestly, in my opinion, I don't think he would have tried to set up the Pawn Stars stuff because he has an in with the Pawn Stars guys. I don't think he would have tried to do any of that if this was like fully fledged out. Everybody knew what was going on. So I wouldn't send any hate whatsoever towards Gary. Gary Haas is an amazing individual. I love that man with all my heart. And see,
Gary's no different.
This game allowed me to actually meet him. Like this game
it's no
allowed
different
me to
to
do
any of
a
us.
box rip with him. Like
Gary's just a fan, like the rest of us. Gary is just a fan, like the rest of us.
Like he's such an amazing dude. I'm so honored that I actually got to rip the Kickstarter box with him, like at Kansas City Collecticon. Like I'm trying to catch up on all of the comments though, because it was going crazy for a minute.
Yeah, I know they're moving pretty quick, man.
But yeah, like that's the thing though, is that besides the letter, there's no other real news. Like I don't.
There's nothing. There is nothing. There is no other news. That's it.
It doesn't matter who you are. Like nobody is. Even if anybody knows something, no one's going to say anything right now because of an NDA or because of something else like that. But to be honest,
possibly Patrick. Possibly.
What are you talking about?
Just a comment.
Argo's selling lots of top cards a week earlier. A lot of people have been selling a lot of top cards. I can't.
That wasn't the comment Argo. I was referring to.
Okay, I was reading another one. Sorry, I can't speak for Argo, so you'd have to talk to him. But like, I know a lot of people. I've been seeing a lot of samples actually, specifically being sold over the last 2-3 weeks. So like, that's
people been selling MetaZoo, man, for like the last 3 months. I brought Kickstarter boxes literally like last week.
Really?
So yeah. So I got a nice little little set of paperweights for the office now.
Well, like I was saying, I'm interested to actually
still look good.
Specifically, Cryptid Nation First Edition and the Kickstarter. I'm interested to see what happens with like the prices for those. Like, because I don't honestly feel like MetaZoo is going to go to zero. The value probably is going to be slashed, but there will be value in some of these cards. And I'm interested to see where it all settles.
Yeah, I've got. I'm not offering any sort of financial advice, so no comment on that.
Buy them if you want to. If you have the money,
happy to buy and lose my own money, but whatever you guys want to do.
Well, you got to buy diapers because you got the little one now. So,
well, now I can just use Kickstarter packs. I got enough of them, so yeah, it'll be all right.
What if a big company wanted to buy MetaZoo, but not the company? Well, I mean, somebody could actually. I mean, that is in theory. Somebody could actually just buy the IP proper, but at the same time, I don't know how that works, honestly. Like with the acquisition of a business, if a business folds, and let's say they claim bankruptcy, can they still sell the shell of that company?
No, it's the brand and the IP that is for sale. That's what I'm saying. Like in the way that they've kind of shut down today, lends itself towards the type of sale where buyers have said, no thanks, not with all that liability and damage that is done to the company and the people that are involved in that company. But they said, you clean up your mess, shut it down, and then we'll take your idea and do it our way. That's sort of the only way it can really happen.
Whiskey and cards. That's beautiful. This era is the WotC of Zoo. Talking about when Pokemon Company America actually switched to Pokemon Company in Japan proper. Ooh, Wizards of the Coast. Okay, I could. So what you're saying completely is MetaZoo as a brand, as a franchise, goes under. All of that because of the bankruptcy, all of that debt and everything else then is erased or restructured or whatever. But then somebody comes in and buys. They actually buy the literal physical IP. They buy the rights to the cards and everything else like that, minus the actual company itself.
It also depends if they want to buy what the company already owns in terms of what all the work and everything they would have already done for these other sets. Or if they go, or if the new buyer just goes, no, I don't want that. I just want the name MetaZoo. I want the rights to all the branding, and that's it. And that's what they want, so they can then just go and do what they want to do with it. It'd be similar to like the What's in Nintendo changeover of Pokemon, but kind of not really, because it was more, well, I guess so, because both would have been leasing the IP anyway. But yeah, let's not go down that rabbit hole. In the comments, they can go nuts. Do what you want. This is your forum. Say what you want.
Don't you do that. Don't you put that juju on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't you do it.
I mean, like I said earlier, everybody's got their right to an opinion, so you can say what you want.
D-Elegance, I don't think it's been a scam. I think it was a series of incidents that literally made them not be able to have money to move forward.
Scams don't last 3 years.
Like, theory time, if I had to put a finger on what I think it was, one thing in particular, and everyone's going to laugh, I think it was Kuromi's Cryptic Carnival. Not because of the set itself, but because of it pushing War and Seven Seas and everything else back. And because of it pushing everything back, that's when we got Legacy came into an idea and became an idea. And so it was supposed to be KCC and Legacy. But then because of the monster KCC was, it took over everything for months. And if you don't believe me, I can tell you right now that when I was at Kansas City Collecticon, the artists had to leave early because they were working on the KCC art. There was last minute adjustments they had to do to this. So they had to leave a couple hours early in order to go and do that. KCC was a monster of a set because of how specific it had to be because of Sanrio, because Sanrio was in charge. MetaZoo was not. Sanrio was. MetaZoo also had to pay for that IP. So they were already out the door X amount of money because they had to basically, in essence, lease the IP. So because, again, them pushing everything off, it created so many problems. And
I'm just going to say it again.
From there. It just snowballed from there.
Again. The MetaZoo brand community, brilliant. This is a prime example of bad business. That's all it is. I'm a businessman myself. I've said it the whole time on our podcast. When certain mistakes are made, it's and this is why I'm able to refund people from my business because of the way that I run it and the way that it's set up. That is the be all and end all here. It was a mountain of bad business decisions mounting up, and then you hit the peak and you just fall off the edge. That's literally what it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to sit here and blame any person in particular because it was a company run by a variety of different people. But yeah, that's basically what's happened.
Well, there was just a lot of people don't know that, but there was a really big Kuromi push on the eastern half of the U.S. last fall. It was a huge Kuromi push. That's why, if you went to stores, if you live anywhere on the East Coast, if you actually went to any number of different stores, you would see Kuromi, Hello Kitty stuff all over the place. It was because there was a huge, big push by the company. And so they were probably told, you have this chance to do this collaboration. And they took it, which in a normal setting would have been brilliant because of the exposure. But because of the logistics nightmare that I feel like it created, pushing War and Seven Seas off, and then making them pretty much create Legacy so they could actually have something to put in there because of them having to push that off because of the monster that KCC was.
I think it's a thing. I think I'm going to say this because the guy from Sanrio joined MetaZoo like a year ago or whatever. We were talking about it on our podcast as soon as he did, right? So, and it was I'd always said at some point there's going to be some kind of crossover, right? Why wouldn't there be? It's a massive brand. I think at the time they did it, it was probably to try and rectify a lot of issues they created before it. So it fell short and is now the catalyst for bringing down a brand when realistically the catalyst is a bunch of business decisions made well before that. That's what I think.
Yeah, he's talking about Kuromi as an IP, not the MetaZoo Hello Kitty collaboration. It was a good idea, but it's not something that I feel like it was the thing that finally pushed them over the edge that led to this. Because if War and Seven Seas would have been released last summer and fall instead, I don't feel like we'd be having this conversation.
I don't know. That depends on the way the internal business was run.
Depends on the print run and things like that. Like
because there's still a lot of things that happen internally that have forced what's happened, and not necessarily the product order, what the product was. No, I refuse to let that be the catalyst when I'm well versed in business without pissing in my own pocket, as an Australian saying down here. To sit back and sort of go, all right, well, that was what was wrong. That was what was wrong. That was what was wrong. That was what
that's why I prefaced that with
built
theory
up,
time.
and here we are, and this is what's happened.
Yes, we're reduced down to cryptid theories. Who would have thought? On the channel.
Cryptid theories are good videos, man. Good videos.
I know. I'm gonna miss making them.
I can have you on my new podcast that's about to release that nobody knows about yet, which is going to be massive. Nice. So, you can be on there to talk about cryptids, I guess.
Well, see, that was the other thing too. I never really, I knew about cryptids, and they were okay, but I didn't really care about cryptids until this game came out. Like this game is what made me actually really be like, whoa, wait a minute, time out now.
We in Australia don't have an enormous amount of cryptid folklore, or we do, but we're not a lot of following behind it. Where we sit back down here and we watch American movies, and everybody's on these summer camps sitting around campfires talking about like all these cryptids and ghost stories and stuff like that. It's obvious that it was going to sort of succeed up there in North America, and we had to really sort of push the idea of it down here. I think it was more the quality of the product and the way the product looked and felt, and the enjoyment we got out of opening the product that actually made the MetaZoo community outside of North America thrive. So it'll be interesting to sort of see where that goes without that. It's obviously yet to be decided. I wish I could shout out so many legends in the chat, man. There's so many people I haven't seen their names for ages, but I still love them.
Somebody asked if this was going to become a Pokemon or a Lorcana channel now. I've never played Lorcana, to be honest with you. I honestly don't really want to become one of the million Pokemon streamers on here. I will say Pokemon Theory, though, is really, really interesting stuff. I kind of have to, I'm going to need to take a couple days and evaluate exactly what I want to do with the channel. If I want to keep it cryptid focused, or if I want to go to more like indie TCGs or like new emerging TCGs like Nom Nom, things like that. If I want to go,
I'll buy it off you if you want.
So yeah, I don't know. I got to figure out exactly what the focus moving forward is of the channel, because it was so zeroed in on MetaZoo that I don't really know exactly what. I've already segued it once away from like mobile gaming, because like my original idea with the channel was I want you know how you're playing a game and you're like, ooh, I'm gonna take those 50 rubies, and so you hit it, and then you have to watch the ad, and then the ad's like 15-30 seconds or so, and then you hit the X and you go back to your game. Well, I wanted to actually make a channel that was called Ad Games, and it was me playing all of the games that popped up as ads. And
that's fake games. Don't people do that on TikTok now?
I have no idea.
Playing games that people say
play games. Well, those are TikTok games, but these are like specifically like phone games or so that pop up.
I'm gonna stop you rambling anyway, and just quickly shout out Alan J, because he did a lot. He did a lot of good things. He did a lot of good things in the MetaZoo community. I hope we get some other like pillars pop in, so even as a group, we can just sort of like say thank you for your time and your effort over those couple of years, because it's the little things like that made it all that little bit more enjoyable. Having conversations about what had been found and what hadn't been found in terms of secret rares. So thank you, Alan.
Tagging Alan every single time I saw one anywhere in any social. Like always
Thank you
trying
for
to
your
tag him.
service. Maybe we should get some promos made up, like some like thank you promos. I'll get some made up somehow. I don't know. I'll think of something. I still got all these sick playmats that I got made up for War, and now they're just going to become placemats at the kitchen table.
Oh, that's a good idea, Tiny Dinosaur. Check out the Game of Thrones channels that did. Okay. Well, I was trying to set myself up to where I could be that asshole that was like, well, these are the top 3 things that you missed from this episode of MetaZoo. Like little Easter eggs and stuff like that. I was trying to set myself up to be like that once the show came out. So I'll have to look and I'll check that out and see actually how some of those channels segued into other things. I'll be honest, I don't know about TCGs at the moment. Like I'm kind of, and I know this is just right now because of like all the emotions and everything from today, but all of, I don't know about TCGs at the moment. Yeah, I don't know. Like, every time I think about it, I just go right back to being sad, just because like, of the lost potential. Esther, were you saying
The best thing to do anyway? I think for everybody is just take some time.
Esther, I have actually talked to
mourn
Johnny.
what you need to mourn. Think about things because you don't want to make any decision based off emotion in life. If you want to succeed, that is, you can take that to the bank. You know, just sort of see what's going to happen. Basic trainer, safe to say the Caster Cup is not happening. Definitely not. That one's see ya. That one's
and that's
kind
of like, well, that's going back though. That's one of the reasons why, like you're saying, like I didn't want to come in here all angry, and I didn't want the entire focus of this to be just 100% bashing what was going on, because like it serves no purpose. Like I'm a really big person when it comes to energy and the transfer of energy, and if that is the energy that you're actually giving out, then you're still giving that energy. So instead of giving that energy, I'd rather actually give that energy back to the community itself. As weird and new age and hippie as that sounds.
Speed Lemon, I'm always going to pronounce your name incorrect like I did when I met you, brother. And I'm always going to say Speedlemon because it just sounds better.
That's how you say their name. What are you talking about?
I thought it's Speed Lemon. I remember I was hanging out with them in at Caster Cup and in Dallas and in Austin and stuff, and I just kept calling them Speedlemon because it sounds way funnier.
Don't you even be saying that over there.
Maddie's saying that the Instagram is back up and all the posts are back up.
Get out. That's not even true.
MetaZoo just posted April Fools.
No, they didn't. I'm gonna be honest. I am looking at my phone right now. So like
April Fools in January.
Got me. Psych. Oh, like, no. All their posts are back up. Wow. Weird.
Mike, are you watching? Yeah. Can you come on here?
Yeah,
Get on here.
All the posts are back up on Instagram. That's crazy. Not actual April Fools, but I mean, because that was something else too that kind of really.
Did the 300 people in here just save MetaZoo? What just happened?
Man, if we could, magic is real. Real magic is everywhere. That was something else that was kind of just that was really sad too. Was just like it. I'll never forget. I don't care what I end up doing from now until the day I die, but I will never forget when they shut down the Discord, and I sat there and actually watched them as they hid each of the different threads, and it, in a word, was heartbreaking. And I understand why they got rid of the Discord. In my opinion, I fully support them actually getting rid of their official Discord, just because it turned into a pot of just hot mess. And I completely support them getting rid of it. But just sitting there watching them get rid of the different threads was just heartbreaking. And then today, when all of the socials went silent too, it was that same feeling, because at least, even if the company does completely fold, we still have those accounts if those accounts stay active. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm just rambling again. I need to stop rambling. Dean, you talk.
Yeah, I'm just sort of catching up on all the social stuff happening outside of this. There's like 4 or 5 town halls that are kicking off at 8 p.m. or something. Good thing I got about 7 monitors in this joint, so I'll be able to watch them all. But yeah, there's a lot going on. And obviously the Instagram. Apparently a Kickstarter box sold on eBay for $400, and I'm pissed off because I didn't buy it. I would buy that for $400. Like I said, I'll still build a wall of MetaZoo. I love the way my MetaZoo display looks.
Yeah,
it looks great.
Yeah, I mean, there's still stuff that when I actually get my tax return back, there are still pieces, like I said, that I still want to buy.
Who's acceptable truth? And they're asking me to say dash hound instead of, what do you guys call them? A dachshund? A dachshund?
The dachshund.
Dachshund? A dash hound.
That's what we're gonna just do a monthly stream of just you and me just shit talking the entire time about what our daily lives are for the last month. We'll do that every single month now instead.
Yeah. Nah. Cool. Yeah, I miss you too, Spiedlemon. Just saw that comment. I'll get back over to the States at some point. I was planning to come over for Houston Collecticon in November. So, might still see how we go, see what happens. But
that'd be awesome if you could still get over here.
Well, I reckon we've used and abused our hour. It's time to go jump into somebody else's and jump in the comments and be like, blah, 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 blah.
I don't really know what else to say. Except
there's nothing. What can we say, bro?
I love you guys. You guys are amazing. You guys are what made MetaZoo MetaZoo. You guys are what allowed us as content creators to create, to connect with you, to get to know you guys, to become friends with most of it. You guys are the reason this is so sad, is because MetaZoo, and somebody said it before earlier in the comments, MetaZoo might have been what brought us together, but MetaZoo isn't what makes us a community. And I don't care if I make content about Pokemon, Lorcana, Nom Nom, MetaZoo. It could be random ad games like I was talking about. I don't want to lose you guys as a community. There's a reason I'm in like 8 or 9, 10 different MetaZoo Discords, and it's because we're all scattered in all different places. And I love each and every single one of you. I have, since I started this, you guys have been amazing, supporting me and pushing me and helping me and encouraging me to do all of these things with the cryptid theories and the manga videos and the old comic videos and these live streams. Like, huge shout out to CNO for sponsoring the show for the first year and helping get it started. Like, CNO has been a huge asset and help to everything that I've done, and I don't want to lose you guys. That's the thing. That's why I'm so sad. And I just monologued again. Dean just lets me monologue.
Yeah, I want everybody to help me out and go follow me on Instagram. I'm at like 870 followers. I want to get to 1,000 so I can give away some wild stuff.
Do it. Dean stream.
So, please follow me. All right, let's go. Let's pack it up.
Yeah, that's all I got. If anything happens sometime soon, I'll definitely let you guys know. As far as I'm aware, like I was saying, Bats said that they're going to keep Cryptic Clash on.
They're doing a town hall. They're doing a town hall at 8 p.m. tonight. So they'll do something up.
Depending on what they announce, I'll actually definitely start covering that, giving updates on that and everything like that when new cards are actually put in, updated and such like that.
Seb just popped in. No,
MetaZoo Black Market just he sent me a huge package that I'm definitely gonna have to. And that was the thing, is that I got that today, and then this happened today. But I have that I want to open still, because he's been sending out packages around to different community members or so, just trying to bring up morale or whatnot. Seb, you're amazing. Thank you for jumping in here.
I met Seb at Caster Cup in Dallas. In Austin, no, Dallas. It was in Dallas, wasn't it? At Collecticon when I was there. I met all the artists when I was there, man. It was unreal.
I never got a chance to meet Seb.
Who are these little Australian boys running around? But yeah.
But yeah, once I figure out exactly what's going on with the channel 2, the direction or everything like that, trust me, I'll definitely let you guys know. If you have any sort of content or stuff that you're posting on Instagram that's MetaZoo related or whatever, still tag me. I'll still share it. I know there's a ton of great, amazing artists in this community. I know that there's still people who are very, very proud of their collections. I'm still proud of my collection. And yeah, if I can
I'm still
help,
buying for mine.
yeah, I'm like I said, there's still pieces that I'm buying. Like I don't care. I still want them to own them. But if anybody needs anything, you know how to hit me up. Like, you know, we're here. And yeah, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna figure out exactly what the next move is and then let you guys know. But until next time, casters, I hope you have a wonderful evening. I love you all. You're amazing. And see you next time.
Follow me on Instagram.
Follow him on Instagram. All right. Love you guys. Bye.